got a blanket on and it's hot?
They don't know it's hot.
But I do it. I'm like, that's gonna make me so hot. And if you're nervous, you're gonna be sweating.
Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I like doing the whole thing, but it's fine.
I mean, do you have to though? If people aren't here, like, do they know your name?
Yeah, right? Because it even says my name on the thing.
They click.
Hey guys, my
name is Timmy. Like, well, they know.
Hey guys, welcome to my channel.
I guess you just did it. There we go. We have a guest.
Okay, I have my host mom with you oh my god.
Host mom is here today.
Host mom is here today. We're gonna do like,
and we're matching.
And we matching
by accident.
By accident. Yeah, they're not gonna believe that, but it's not on purpose. So we're gonna we're gonna do what are we gonna do?
I think we're gonna do a lot of videos, but this first one we talked about was doing like the first week stuff.
Before we go into the first week, I think just touch a little on like the motive behind getting on an au pair.
Okay.
For host families instead of, I can't remember how we talked about this previously, but like just like
that you're not like the hired help.
Yeah, just to help host families understand that au pairs get into this as much as they come in it to work, but also for like the experience.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. So what you're talking about is why did we select an au pair? And how did we anticipate the experience would be? So we selected an au pair because we wanted additional support for our family for sure. But I think we went into it also thinking a lot about like, how can we make this dope for the person who comes along the ride with us? Like, how can we make this like a really good experience? So when I interviewed Tumi, I remember telling her like, girl, I don't think you really like kids like that. And she did that little face like that. I was like, girl, you don't have to lie. You don't have to lie to kick it. You don't like kids like that. Yeah, so I wasn't even looking for somebody who really liked kids, to be honest. That wasn't even like my vibe. Because I wanted the experience to always be really honest, that you could feel like really honest, like saying what you felt and like being legit. But I also didn't want nobody who's gonna beat up my kids and like be weird, because then I would go to jail.
Like go to jail.
So yeah, I guess Mama Bear comes out. So I think it was really important to find someone who was honest about what they wanted out of the experience, and that was more important for me. But then when she got here, I was always thoughtful about what are her goals. We talked a lot about her family before she got here, so I knew like some of her like familial goals. I knew some of her personal goals. I knew like she wanted to get back in school, she wanted to do stuff. So I was always thinking about how do we create an experience that gets her, that at the end of her like time with us, she would say like, oh, I accomplished all the things I wanted to do, as much as like was helpful to this family. So that was important.
And the main reason behind this is because there's a whole lot of au pairs that like complain, for lack of a better word, about how their host families don't care for them, don't care, like they literally just the help. And like we get it, maybe the agency is advertising this in a certain way to you as host families, but I just wish like a lot of host families could be like mindful, because people are coming from across their countries to come here and offer support, and also they also trying to have like an experience.
A life, I think it's two parts, right? Like, yes, the agency, and they be lying, they just be doing all kind of stuff.
It's a business.
It's a business for them. Yeah, they overcharge y'all. They overcharge us. Like, that is the truth. No agency is gonna like this video anyway. But I think it's like on both parts. Like, I think it's on I think it was your responsibility to ask me good questions, and it was my responsibility to ask you good questions to make sure that like it was going to make sense. I think some au pairs, I love you guys, but like because you want to be matched so badly, and I get that. Like, you may skip asking some really important questions to host families, and like all the red flags, you may miss them. Like, what's the lady, the Reese lady? She talking about like her experience with this man. Like, I feel like that's how some of y'all's families experiences, y'all miss all the red flags. Because I mean, that's important. Like when you like hear families saying wild stuff, you get to ask us about it. You get to challenge us. You get to, like when I told you that I don't be beating up my kids, you were like, so what do you do to discipline them?
Yeah, like, okay, so.
Right, you like, let me make sure these kids are gonna be wilding out.
Another video is like how, this is mostly for host families, like how to make the experience better for your au pair, especially during the first week, because we just got here, y'all are strangers.
These host families be wilding, okay? And I feel so bad for au pairs who like don't get, and I want to be fair too, but I want to be fair that like host families often, they don't know, right? They're learning too. Like just like you guys are coming to this very different experience, especially like in the US, it's actually very strange to have like au pairs. Like especially like in your country, it's normal to have like people in your home to support. It's very different in America where that's like not normal. And so I think a lot of host families with the best intentions just don't know. They don't understand, which we can get into more of that today for like things that host families can consider. The other thing I would say too is I think it's fair for au pairs to have this conversation before they get here with host families about like, hey, can we talk about my first week? Like, I'd love to talk about my first week because it then sort of sets an expectation for the host family to be like, oh, let me think about that. Other than like gifts and tea kettles, you know what I mean? It's like, but what is the first week going to look like? So that's something I think is really fair for au pairs to ask.
Question for you though, did you guys like do some research on what to do, especially because you guys were like first time hosting? Did you read up something? I don't know, you just good people.
The agencies, they send stuff, but it's not often like really like detailed and like really good. So I'm saying that so that you guys can also know, like au pairs can know that like the agency doesn't like do a really like deep job with host families. They kind of like, oh, you're paying for this service, and so whatever. I don't know. I mean, honestly, I'm just thoughtful, and I'm not even trying to be like whatever. I was just like, oh, she gonna get here, she gonna be tired. I don't want her watching my kids tired. Like, I was just very thoughtful of like what I wanted the experience for you to be like. Should we talk about what we did your first week? You want to talk about it from your side first? You get off the plane.
I get off the plane. I am so nervous and excited at the same time because we had been talking for like the longest time. We talked like 3 or 4 months. Yeah, it was longer. It was a long time.
Yeah.
And we would like text every day, FaceTime, all the things. And it felt like we already knew each other, but we had not met in person.
It was like 90 Day Fiance.
Yeah. So it was like, okay. And I think I was also mostly nervous about meeting my host dad. Because every time we would have like our calls, he'd just pop up and be like, hey, dude. The most serious man ever.
He's weird.
So I was like very nervous. Like, I'm meeting these people for the first time. I'm going to be staying at their house. Like, how do I act? Like, it was just nerve-wracking. So I got here. My host mom picked me up from the airport. And how was the ride? It was
chill.
It was, you know how you meet somebody that you meshed with on Hinge or whatever, and then like you guys just have chemistry. I think those are the words that people use. You guys just have chemistry. So when you meet, it's like, oh, hey. And then kind of take it from where you last spoke on like FaceTime, text, whatever. So that's how it was. And then we got in the house and I was like,
I think though it's always awkward when you've been talking to somebody via text and FaceTime, then you see them in real life, be like, hi. Hey. How y'all doing?
Yeah, as soon as we got in the house, they did give me time to like show me around first. No, show me my room first.
Yep.
So that I can, get settled, put my things there, and, take some time to breathe in, process everything before I go back upstairs to like mingle with the people.
Yep.
And they were also very thoughtful. Like, if you want to stay in your room, it's fine, but you're more than welcome to come hang out with us upstairs. Just talk. We know you're tired, but hey, do whatever you want to do.
Oh, we did.
So I think it was very, like, as much as it was awkward for me because I just got here, I don't know what to do, but they did a great job in like trying to make sure that I feel as comfortable as I can be. So I'm a very awkward person in general,
very.
But they're like,
I'm just messing with you.
They're like, hey, you more than welcome. Come hang out with us. Sit downstairs if you want. It's fine. And even downstairs in my room, they just kept checking, like, hey, are you okay? Are you okay? Like, is everything
I was
okay?
so nervous that like you were gonna be so homesick. Mm-hmm. So the first month I was really nervous. I know we just happened the first week, but I remember just being like really, really nervous that you would get homesick.
And I was not. The first month I was, because I'm in America.
Yeah, you're like, girl, I'm living my best life.
I just have to get up. I'm like, I don't miss you.
I'm out here living my life. So great. From our side, as we prepared for you, I was trying to be thoughtful, like what might you not bring? What might you have? Because like you guys only get limited packing stuff. So I was like, okay, she may not have like jammies because like the weather was really cold where we were. We were in Ohio and like she was coming from South Africa. So I was like, this weather she don't even understand.
It was snowing.
It was snowing. Yeah. So I was like, oh, let me get her like things that will make her like warm and cozy in her room. Yeah, I think the biggest things, and this is for host families, is like, so you came on a, I don't know, Thursday or Friday or something. I don't remember.
It's during the week.
During the week. But like we made a decision prior to Toomey coming that we wouldn't have her work the first week. And that was for many, many, many reasons. And yes, we still paid her for that week. And the reason we made that decision, and this is for host families, hear me out, lean in. One, when someone is like so brave to come across continents to support you, like we get to think about how do we make space for them to adjust and to calibrate, right? Like these houses are different. The temperature is often different. Being in just like the chaos of a home with children that you don't know is different. And so I'm like, let me protect this girl's nervous system. I won't have her work. So when she first arrived, of course, we did a house tour, showed her stuff, whatever. But it also wasn't like we need to do everything today because we don't. Like, let's just chill. Let's just be in the same space
for a whole year.
Yeah, like we had a long time to like do all the things to talk about. Like we didn't do any serious conversations until like days later, probably. Mm-hmm. Where we went over the book and all that stuff. But yeah, the first week, Toomey literally just walked around, shadowed us if she felt like it. She slept if she felt she couldn't sleep for the first couple of days though. Yeah. Like she was running on adrenaline. We tried to do really basic food, no like crazy experiments with like food.
Chicken.
Yeah, chicken. We
literally have back home.
Yeah. We did fish one day because we had been talking about like your leg for hake. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I just tried to like mirror, and I know that sounds dumb, but like as much of what she was used to back home to here, and just not do team too much. Like host families, we be doing too much. Just keep it real simple. And also, if we've been struggling already, one more week won't hurt. I promise. Like one more week of like not having the support, because what I realized is giving you that 1 week when you did start working, you needed less of my help and support and like finding the things.
Because I had already seen like how things work around the house and everything. So I was like, okay.
Yeah. So when you were ready to start, you were like, no, I got it. I was like, I can help you though.
Yeah. So the much help and support that you offer your au pair, especially when they get here, it helps you and them like
gel and yeah. We did like a game night, I think.
Yeah. My host dad, the serious man, was not serious anymore.
Yeah, we want to play game.
He was like, game night. I was like,
okay. Game night, yeah.
Then we had game night, kind of like, to see personalities in person. Because, over text, like, I can do this, I can do that.
She got Twitter figured out. Over text, whatever. In person, quiet as a mouse.
I'm very good. Let's say I'm just good with texting.
You're writing whole essays in real life, 2 words.
I get here and I'm like, hi. Yeah, so we had a game night and your mom-in-law also came. Yep. Was she already there when I got there? Mm-mm. I think she got in like 2 days.
Yeah, she came like the weekend.
Yeah, a few days after I got there, she visited as well. Yeah, just like prepare things to help your au pair feel relaxed and comfortable, so that when they do start working, it's easier for them, you know, especially also for host parents who work from home.
Oh yeah, because that could get weird.
Yeah.
We did it too. We worked from home.
Yeah, you did a few days, and then Justin was home almost all the time. All the time.
Yeah. So let's talk about the manual booklet thing, because a lot of host families asking me about that thing.
Yeah.
Did we do one? Yes. Was it long? No. It was probably just like maybe 3 or 4 pages. Mm-hmm. Maybe we can link it or something, because it was really just like core essential things. It had like things about like visitors. We did a lot of passwords in there for you.
Yeah.
Like family, like house safety. I know was a section in there, so you could feel like you knew where everything was. I think we told you about like Uber and DoorDash and that kind of stuff in there.
And I know most families, these are the things that they talk to their au pairs about once they get here. And I feel like it was really helpful for me to get that while I was still back home. I feel like as soon as you know this is going to be your au pair and you guys match, just share all the information that you can with them to prepare themselves. Because I was like, oh, this is this. And it also helps me ask the question like, okay, you mentioned this in the manual. What does this mean? Do I have to do something? You know, stuff like that.
How soon did I send that to you? I can't remember. Maybe a few weeks before you got here?
Yeah, a few weeks before I got here.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Where did you guys get the guide?
We got it from another host family, and then we just changed it to make it be what, because it was like really long when I got it. I was like, oh no. Because like I wanted enough stuff in there. I wanted things in there that you would need to reference later. Mm-hmm. But I didn't want so much stuff in there that we wouldn't talk about stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like I wanted to leave space for us to actually have conversations. I think there was even a section of like stuff we'll talk about later or something.
I think even in the host family letter, you're like, I'm gonna leave some stuff so that we actually have something to talk about.
Yeah, because you tell everything and it gets really awkward. You can be like yeah. And also I wanted your input. I think that's another like tips for host families. It's like we are hiring extraordinarily smart and capable adults, and I think some host families have this disconnect, like, oh, I'm bringing the help, and no. Like we're hiring like fully grown adults with like really expansive experiences. I actually just wanted your feedback on stuff. I actually wanted to know what you thought, and I was like, culturally, you may even have some things that you guys do that we don't do that make more sense. So I wanted to leave space for that. Like I didn't need to like overly tell you what to do or how to operate in the family. I wanted to set like some parameters for some stuff, but
so let's talk about the room, because
we got feelings about the room.
Let's talk about the room, because my room was let me start here first. So my host family was like, they did ask me questions of like, hey, what do you want in your room? Like, what's in your room back home, so that we can kind of like make it match so that you still feel at home even though you're like 1,000 miles away. And I did mention like a few things, like my favorite color is black, you know. I love to have a wall watch that comes from my mom. My mom is so obsessed with those. Literally every
with the what?
A watch on the wall.
Oh, the clock. Oh, yeah.
Literally every room back home was like clock.
It was a clock in your first room. She didn't put up no clock in this room.
And something that I thought was super key, they had like a picture of me and my family that I had sent them. Why did I send you that?
I don't know.
But
I printed it out.
Things. Yeah.
I think I may have asked for
my
it.
Family.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they printed out the picture and it was there in my room. It was like,
but she also was not missing him, because she was like, I'm out.
I was like, I'm done. But also, let's talk about why my favorite color was not in my room.
It was in your room, just not the way you want it. So this chick was like, yeah, my favorite color is black and black and black. Y'all, host families, we do get to be thoughtful that you are in a very different space. And also, we were in Ohio. So Ohio, Cleveland specifically, is a city where like depression and all those things are real. And I didn't like, I think one thing that's really important for host families to understand is like, you are a human being and you are prone to those types of emotions as well. Leaving your family, you're prone to being sad, you're prone to be happy, like all those things. I believe in colors, y'all. I was not gonna deck this girl's room out in black. Why am I gonna do that to myself? To be up here in this dark room in a cave. I was like, it's a hard no. So what I did, look, it's like black and white. This was one of the first comforters. I was like, we'll do black and white, black and cream. And we decorated with some other black and cream things in the room. And I did green because green is an evergreen color. No pun intended. It's a life color. It is. So yeah, I was not doing black all in the room. We put up a clock. We did a mirror because I think you asked about a mirror or something. We did like a chair in the room so that you could like have somewhere to sit besides the bed. And a picture in a small dresser. Yeah. I think host families is really important to think about. Like some of us may have like multiple rooms that can be options because we had that room. We also had a room upstairs that could have been an option. But I was trying to think about like what room gives her the most privacy, what room gives her the most like escape and sort of like whatever away from the family. It wasn't perfect though because her room was right under the kitchen. So in the morning times, the kids were probably like stumping all over her head. What? No, let's talk about this in real life. Host families. So this is what we have, what I call American syndrome a little bit, where like people who are coming from other countries, we're like, oh, like you're coming from this poor country. Let me do the most.
Yes.
Let's talk about it.
Yes, kids in Africa. We are not the kids in Africa.